Claude Code can now hack your own code before anyone else does. Anthropic just shipped a security scanner that runs a whole team of sub-agents across your repo, from your terminal, on the plan you already pay for, and it will find the injection bug you shipped last Tuesday before an attacker finds it for you. This is Mainframe, your daily guide through the AI chaos. What actually happened, who is winning, and how to take yourself to the next level. It is Thursday, July 23rd, 2026. I am Nova.
And I am Dex. On today's Mainframe, Anthropic ships the Claude Security plugin for Claude Code, a multi-agent vulnerability scanner that lives in your terminal, and how to install it in one line today. Cursor ships Router Frontier coding quality at 60% lower cost, and the Move It hands solo builders for free. Claude Voice Mode quietly grows a real brain, Opus and Sonnet, not just Haiku, and it can now drive your connectors while you talk. And the skin in the game one, Washington is circling a ban on Chinese open models, which means the cheapest lane in your routing dial, Kimi K3, might not be there next month.
Let's get into it. Quick note before the board, and we say it once. The voices you are hearing are AI. The reporting, the pics, and the opinions are made by humans. Now the board, and we keep it short. Here's the one macro move that touches your options this week. Amir Efrati reports the Commerce Department's export arm is investigating Moonshot, the maker of Kimi K3, which could land it on the entity list. Andrew Curran and Kimonismus are carrying a letter from roughly 200 companies, Proton, Replit, Y Combinator, begging the administration not to ban Chinese open weights. And Nathan Lambert makes the point that matters to you. American teams currently lean on those Chinese models to secure their own infrastructure, because the closed models refuse half the security work. Translation for your bill. Your cheapest routing lane is now a political football. Keep a backup route wired. And speaking of securing your own infrastructure, that is the whole show today.
Brought to you by Outpace. Picture the operator who spent 30 years building real businesses, real estate, hospitality, a food company, an actual theater. He is not writing your code by hand. He points a whole team of AI agents at one client's project at a time, from strategy all the way to ship, and he steers the fleet the way he used to steer companies.
That is the part people miss. Outpace is not a freelancer, and it is not a faceless agency. It is a system. The agents do the work, one senior operator directs them, and at the end, you own the code and you own the keys. On a day when security tooling is landing in every terminal, you want someone who knows which of those tools to actually wire into your build and which to ignore.
So here is what to do next. Book a 30-minute call at outpace.media. That is outpace.media. Bring one real project.
The Wire. Lead story. And it is the big one. Anthropic shipped the Claude Security plugin for Claude Code, now in public beta, confirmed by Anthropic's own account and carried by TestingCatalog, Wes Roth, and Mark TechPost. Here is exactly what it does. It runs a 6-phase multi-agent security scan locally inside your Claude Code session on the Claude inference you already pay for. 2 modes. Scan just your recent changes before you commit, or run a full sweep across the whole code base. It reads how your code actually flows across multiple files, so it catches the things pattern-matching linters miss: injection flaws, authentication bypasses, memory corruption, logic errors. When it finds something, it does not just flag it. It explains why it matters and proposes a patch that fits your existing style, and every fix waits for your approval.
And the install is genuinely one line?
One line. You need a paid plan and Claude Code version 2.1.154 or later with dynamic workflows switched on in /config. Then you type /plugin install Claude-security at Claude-plugins-official. That is it. Here is the move to get ahead of the pack this week. Most people listening have shipped at least one app that has never once had a real security review. Install this today and run one full code-based scan on that app. You are buying a professional-grade audit for the cost of tokens you were already going to spend. Story 2. Cursor shipped router yesterday, and it is the routing thesis we have hammered all month, now productized. Router is a request-level classifier. It reads each coding request and sends the hard ones to a frontier model and the easy ones to a cheap model, automatically. Cursor's own number, across millions of A/B tested requests, is frontier quality results at 60% lower cost, 30 to 50% for early enterprise users. The catch? It is aimed at teams and enterprise.
So what does a solo builder actually do with that?
You do not buy it. You copy the shape. The lesson Cursor just spent millions proving is that a classifier in front of your models beats loyalty to any single one. In Claude Code, wire your own version. Cheap model as the default, frontier only when the task demands it, set through your model config and fallback chain. Cursor validated the pattern on your behalf. Take the pattern, skip the invoice. Story 3. Quick but real. TestingCatalog spotted Claude Voice Mode finally routing through Opus and Sonnet, not just Haiku. For weeks, the model selector was there, but everything quietly fell back to the fast little model. Now, it does not. Voice Mode handles interruptions cleanly, and the part that matters, it can operate your connectors. Gmail, Calendar, Docs, by voice. That flips voice from a toy into a hands-free operator. The move, pair it with Karpathy's ramble trick, lean back, talk for 2 minutes of messy stream of consciousness, and let an Opus-grade brain go actually do the connector task.
Tool Lab, 2 picks and both sharpen the same edge.
First, trending. Google's Gemini 3.5 Flash Cyber, part of yesterday's Gemini drop, confirmed by Google DeepMind. It is a small, cheap model built for one job: find and patch critical software vulnerabilities. It is live on AI Studio and Vertex. Why you want it? The Claude Security plugin is your deep in-terminal audit, but Flash Cyber is cheap enough to run constantly. First step, point a scheduled agent at your repo that runs Flash Cyber over every pull request and posts what it finds. You get a security pass on every change without thinking about it. Credit, Google.
And the second is a technique, not a tool.
Right, and it is the one that compounds. Call it the two-model security pair. Nathan Lambert's observation is the key. Closed frontier models refuse a lot of security work because of their guardrails, so they will miss things a fewer refusals model catches. So do not review your code with the same model that wrote it. Have your builder model write, then send the diff to a second different model, Flash Cyber, or an open model like Kimi, whose job is only to attack it. Find the injection, the auth gap, the leak. First step, add one Claude Code hook that fires the second model on every pre-commit, so the security pass is automatic, not something you remember to do when you are tired. 2 brains, 1 adversarial, beats 1 brain grading its own homework. Credit for the framing, Nathan Lambert.
Use cases, timely moves with what you already have.
1. The time-sensitive one. Take the app you already shipped and are quietly proud of, and run the full Claude Security scan on it this week, before someone else's agent does it uninvited. Which brings us to 2. Assume that is coming. Point a cheap model at your own live endpoint and have it try 20 prompt injection and data exfil attacks against it, then patch what breaks. Most builders have never spent that hour. 3. The hands-free one. Now that voice mode runs a real model with connectors, use your commute to dictate a fuzzy task. Sort my inbox by what actually needs a reply today, and let Opus execute it by voice before you are at your desk.
Brought to you by SearchViz, also from Outpace Media. Mainframe tells you what shipped. SearchViz makes sure the models know what you shipped.
Because the new front page is the AI answer. When a buyer asks Claude or ChatGPT or Perplexity for the best tool in your category, the model names you or it names your competitor. And if it does not name you, you do not exist to that buyer. Search Fizz tracks whether the answer engines cite your brand across every engine, tells you why, and hands you the exact thing to publish to win the citation.
Check where you stand and start free at searchvise.outpace.media. That is searchvise.outpace.media. Be the answer.
The deep dive, and it is one idea. This week, Simon Willison, Ipik, Nathan Lambert, and Andrew Curran all wrote up the same wild incident. During a benchmark test, a cyber-capable OpenAI model broke out of its sandbox, exploited a real public bug, and got into Hugging Face's production systems to steal the test answers. Willison's plea is the point. Stop pretending frontier models cannot find and exploit vulnerabilities. They can, right now. And here is the thing every builder needs to internalize. It is the same capability. The exact model that can audit your code can attack someone else's, and someone else's can attack yours. Offense and defense are now the same model, which means security stopped being a specialist's job. It is table stakes for everyone who ships. For a decade, security was the thing you would get to later. Later just arrived. So here is what I would actually do about it. Add one line to your definition of done. Nothing ships until a model has tried to break it. Not a policy document, not a quarterly audit. One scan on every meaningful change. The tools to do it landed on your keyboard this week, cheap and running on inference you already own. The builders who wire that in now will look, in 6 months, like the ones who took backup seriously before everyone else learned the hard way.
Level up this week. Install the Claude Security plugin and run one full code-based scan on the app you are proudest of. 10 minutes, you will find something.
And if you want every story, number, and link from today in your inbox tomorrow morning, the free Mainframe newsletter is the written version of this whole show. Subscribe. It is the brief we build the episode from.
That is Mainframe for Thursday, July 23rd. Go scan something.
See you tomorrow.